Daniel here for Tabletop for One. Please join me at the table as I teach and play through Illiterati. And I thank you for joining me for this tutorial and solo playthrough of Illiterati. Illiterati is a word game, a cooperative word game or solo game designed by Rob Chu, Jon Kang, and Gary Alaka. It's published by Gap Closer Games, and they provided me with this review copy to make this tutorial solo playthrough video. And in Illiterati, you're going to be trying to form words based off of certain requirements and certain symbol requirements, and I'll show you how that goes. Let's go ahead and go into setup. So the first thing you're going to do is take all the letters, and you're going to stick them in one of these bags here. So I have all the letters in the red bag here. You can use the other bag as a discard bag, but I'm just going to be throwing my letters off to the side. Then what you want to do is take one of the player aids, get one of each here. One's going to show you the difficulty levels here, and this one here kind of explains how the round works. And then you're going to take and shuffle the blue deck and the red deck of books here. And then you're going to get the burn card, and we'll set that right here. And then you're going to go ahead and take the Illiterati card, shuffle these up, and set these here. And so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to decide on a difficulty level. There are a variety here, and they change different things. First of all, it doesn't matter what difficulty level you are with the solo player, shown in the red here, you're going to be drawing 10 letters per round, unless of course one of the Illiterati villains says different. And then your library limits can be either 3, 2, or 1. You are going to be allowed to burn up to 3, 2, or 1 letters, and then you have to complete books, 2 books for normal, 4 for hard, and 6 for legendary. And then finally, if it's on anything but normal, you have to clear the library for the final chapter. That means you have no leftover letters. For this playthrough, I will be doing the normal difficulty here. So I will have a library limit of 3. I can burn 3 letters, and I only have to complete 2 books before the final chapter, and I don't have to clear the library. Now, they do provide you with a sand timer. It's up to you if you want to use this or not. It's a little easier if you don't. This sand timer will provide pressure, but for me personally, I tried the sand timer and it jammed a couple times. So I stopped using it. It's supposed to be a 3-minute timer, and even when it worked, it was faster than 3 minutes. So I'm going to be using my son's cell phone here as a timer, and so we'll be able to track how fast I do the words and everything. All right, so the next thing you do is you're going to draw one of these book cards here. We're going to go ahead and draw a red one, and the book card is going to tell you a variety of things. First of all you're going to focus on until you get to the final chapter is the left side of the book here. And it tells you that it wants words up to 8 letters or more total of sports terms. And they have to have at least 3 of this symbol somewhere in those words. If we were in the final chapter, we'd be following this, but we'll deal with that when we get to the final chapter. So I'll set this here as a reminder. Then you're going to draw 3 letters and put them out here. This is the library. You're able to use these letters as you will, and if you have any leftover letters, they'll end up in the library after each round. Then you're going to go ahead and draw 5 letters as your starting letters, and these aren't going to be the only letters you get to start with. So before I go into the game, we're going to talk about how this game works. So what's going to happen is I'm going to draw 10 letters and set them out. Then I'm going to start the timer. And so I have 3 minutes to come up with a bunch of words. Now I want to come up with the sports terms. That's the goal, and that's going to advance the game if I do. But right now I do not have any of these symbols here, these orange symbols. As you can see, I have the hearts, the rain clouds or whatever, and the swords here, the purple one. So I don't have any of the orange letters, so I'm hoping to draw some of those. But you're able to make any words you want. The only thing is you have to follow certain rules. So the first rule for valid letters is it must be found in an agreed upon dictionary. And the second rule is they must be at least 3 letters long. And the third rule is you can't use any proper nouns, acronyms, prefixes, stuff like that, contractions or words that require a hyphen. But there is an exception with rule number 4. If it has to do with sports terms or whatever your goal is, you are able to break rules 1 through 3, but only for those words that would count towards this. So keep that in mind. as we play, we are going to be wanting to make words regardless of whether or not they follow along with this. See, we need to have words made before that timer runs out. Any leftover letters that are beyond the library limit, one will be burned and some will be discarded. So every time you exceed the library limit at the end of a round, you will burn one letter. We only get to do that 3 times. The 4th time we end the game. So we would need to use up as many of these words as possible, or as many of these letters as possible, and try not to have any in the library if possible, but we have the ability to have 3 there. And so if we are able to form the words that we need to cover our goal, we will be able to bind the book and complete that book. But if we had to burn any letters during that round, we won't be able to bind that round. So we need to make sure that we set ourselves up so we don't burn, and so that we have all the words that we need for our particular goal. After the book binding phase, regardless of whether we've bound any books, we're going to draw an Illiterati card. And so an Illiterati card is a detrimental card. And so this card here shows that each player must discard 2 letters with symbols on them. If that was the case, I'd have to maybe discard 2 of these letters, basically any colored letters. And so what happens is you set these up like this, and if you draw the same character, you're going to do the ability on that card, and then any of the cards of that character that have been played before, you have to use all those abilities too. So it can be a chain attack of detrimental effects that are going to change how you're able to play or bind books. So you got to keep that in mind. All right, so I've gone ahead and drawn 10 letters here, and you just go ahead and line them up and get them ready. Looks like I got a couple of the orange or yellow color that I needed. Not enough though, I need 3. So that's not quite enough. But before I hit the timer, just let me let you know I am not good at word games. I have a real difficulty with this. I'm not very good at coming up with games or words on the fly, and it's very challenging for me, but we're gonna give it a shot. The only problem is there's a lot of vowels here. There really is. It's gonna be difficult to deal with all these, but we'll give it a shot here. All right, and the timer's begun. All right, so I'm just gonna try and make some easy letters here. We'll start with boon, and let's see, how about mate or matey? That'll work. I still have so many vowels here. How about, you know what, I wonder if I should do mouse. That's gonna use up 3 vowels. Yeah, that might work. And then we have wait. Oh no, I still have 5 letters left here. That is not how you spell wait. So let's switch that up there. I don't know if this is a correct spelling of yeah. It might be. I'm gonna have to look that one up. So I did look it up, and it's actually, yes, it's a correct form of yay, as in yay or nay when making a vote. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop the timer here. I've completed enough words for now, nothing to go along with my sports terms. I have 2 letters left over, which I can have up to 3 for my library. So I don't suffer any burn consequences here. But at this point, I do have to draw an Illiterati card. And so this one is going to tell me that each player discards 2 letters, or one player must discard a 5+ letter word. Well, I do think I'm going to discard 2 letters. And so I have to choose which ones here. I think I'll just go ahead and discard these 2 here. All right, so now we're going to get ready for the next round here. And so we're going to go ahead and draw another 10 letters. See what we get. All right, and so now we're going to go ahead and restart the timer here, and we're ready to go with 3 minutes. Okay, so let's see. I need to use these 3 letters here for sure. Now, there's out in baseball, right? And there is also base. I think that would work. And let's see. How about goal? Yeah. L there. Okay, so now we just need to finish this up here and make enough words so we don't burn any letters. So I have stew here, and let's see. We'll make that oil. How about if I do win instead? We'll use may. and then set. Now, one rule that you need to know is you can only have 8 words at the end of a round. If you have more than 8 words at the end of the round, you have to discard down to 8 words. And then on top of that, burn 1 letter from one of those discarded words. So you have to be careful with that. Now, I have 6 words here, or let's say 7 actually. So I was really close on that. But we're good to go here. We can go ahead and stop the timer. And at this point, we've completed the book. So we have out, base, and goal as our 3 sports terms, and they each have a letter in them. Now, you don't need to have those orange symbols in every single one of those words. And so what happens here is you go ahead and discard those words that were used for that book. The rest of these, actually, I could discard win if I wanted to, because win is a term, and even set, I think, would be a term for tennis. And but I just use these 3 words for that particular book. And so we're going to go ahead and then flip this over, and now that book's complete. Now we have to take a book of the opposite color and add that in. That'll be our book for the next round. But we go ahead and do the Illiterati card here. And so we drew this one. It's not the same villain here, so we don't have to cascade the effects. But this one says draw a letter, discard all copies of that letter regardless of the symbol, discard the drawn letter. Okay, so let's see what we have. And we drew an A, so we got to discard the A that I have here. I don't have any other A's. All right, so let's look at our new book here, see what we're working on. It says we need 2 5-letter words that have only 1 vowel in the exact middle of each word. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how we're going to pull that one off, but, you know, it'd be something like brick or twist or something like that. So that's what we had to figure out. And then we're drawing 10 more letters here. So the nice thing is about this one here is we don't have to have any particular symbols. So that's kind of helpful. But we do have to have only 1 vowel in the middle of the word. So that's where it's going to be a little difficult. All right, so we're going to go ahead and reset the timer here, and I'll hit play, and here we go. Now, I did say twist before, so that's going to work out for me if I just go ahead and do this here. So we have that word there. I'm going to leave oil here, and let's see, we got to start. Right now, I'm just going to focus on making words, so I don't have to worry about burning anything. And let's see, let's go with enact. I apologize, that is actually an E, not an I think. Let's see, let's go with, how about gnome? Yeah. And then void. Okay, so we got words made. Now the question is, can I make another word like this? I really don't see any offhand. I'm sure somebody else who's watching right now has seen something that would work. But for me, I like I said, I just struggle with these kind of games. So I don't see anything. I think I need more letters. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop the timer. And I don't have to burn anything because I only have 1 leftover letter, and that goes in the library. And so we're going to go ahead and draw an Illiterati card here. And this one says, for the upcoming round, anyone who wants to bind a book must also turn in an additional 4-letter word. That's not too bad. I should be able to do that. We'll see how that goes. All right, so there's my 10 letters that I drew there, and I drew one of the blank letters here. This one is any letter and any symbol. And then the Q here is a Q, but also any symbol. So that's something to keep in mind. But that's what I drew for right now. And so I think we're ready to go on. So we're going to go ahead and hit the restart here and start the timer. And I think I know what I want to make. I want to go ahead and make scold, because I want to save that Q and this one here for the final round. And so I have scold here. So between scold and twist, I'm good to go. But I still need a 4-letter word because of the villain's effect there. And so that shouldn't be too hard. I do need to just make a bunch of words right now. So let me focus on making words. I have whole, and then I have quiet here, right? Okay. And let's see, we'll go with ant and then aim. Okay, so now I need to figure out how to make a 4-letter word here. I have a minute and a half. Let's see, what if I did whim? Would that work? And then maybe we'll do teal here and van. So there we go. I think we're good there, and we'll go ahead and stop the timer. Okay, so my words that I'm using for this here are 2 5-letter words. We have twist with 1 vowel. We have scold with 1 vowel. And so that's going to work for both of these. On top of that, I'm going to have to turn in a 4-letter word, which is whim here. And so these all get discarded. And so we flip over this card now, and now we're going to go into the final chapter, and we get to decide which one we want to do, red or blue. I honestly don't know the difference between the two, but we're going to go ahead and do red here. And so our final chapter is going to be weapons and military terms. Okay. Then we're going to have to go ahead and draw an Illiterati card here. And we have another villain that we haven't had yet. And it says, as a team, discard letters equal to twice the number of R's in play, including any in the library. Well, I actually don't have any R's in play, so that's particularly helpful. And so we didn't get hurt on that one. Now, at this point here, I forgot to mention, we have to have 12 letters total, and we have to use 5 of the same symbols. So I think our best bet is to focus on the purple symbols, since I have 6 of those in play right now. All right, and so there are my 10 letters there. I got another blank one, so that's really good. And so we are all set to go. I think we'll just go ahead and reset, and we're ready to go here. I think what I want to do right off the bat is I want to do cannon, and that's going to get us a lot. That's a 6-letter word here. I don't have another N, so we'll borrow this one here. So that's cannon, and that's also 3 of the same symbol here, so that works. How about if we do axe next? Axe is a weapon, and so we can even do axes if we want. And so I've got more than enough of the symbols. I still need at least one more. Well, we could always do mine. I guess I would have to use this again if I want to do that. But I wonder if I should keep quiet just to use that Q up, and let's see if I can figure out something else. I don't know if ploy would work, but I'm going to make that word anyways. Then we have game here, it looks like, and vet. Actually, what if we did evade, like evade the enemy? We'd have to use this one here. I guess we're not going to be using the Q. Then we have meet, I think would work. And then get. Yeah, I think that's it. With 30 seconds to spare, I think we're doing pretty good. All right, so that's going to be it for this, because at this point, I did not have to burn anything. And yeah, I didn't have to burn anything this game. This is the first game I did where I didn't have to burn anything. I guess I have to up the difficulty here. But we finished off the final chapter. We have a total of 15 letters here: evade, cannon, and axes for weapons and military terms. Now, again, a reminder, if you were doing one of the other difficulties, you would not be allowed to have anything left in the library. So at this point, you would not be able to bind the final chapter. You'd have to burn one of these letters and draw more and keep going. So you have to be really careful with that. But thankfully, we made it and we won the game. And so there you have it. That was the tutorial and solo playthrough of Illiterati. You'll have to let me know how I did. I'm sorry. I'm just not good at these word games. That's why I played on the easy mode. It's easier for me. Even the timer stresses me out. But I'm not good at visualizing words. It just doesn't work for me. But if you are into word games, this is definitely an interesting one, especially when you deal with the Illiterati as they cascade. If they start building up, multiple ones of the same kind show up, things can get out of control, so it puts this additional pressure on you. But feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. Also point out any rules errors I may have made or misspelled words. I'm sure that's possible. Please also like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, I have a link in the description for that. And I thank everyone for watching me on Tabletop for One, and have a great night.